Hi, good morning. This is Filthy Ketchup. Today's video is about domestic abuse, how to recognise and report domestic abuse. And we're using Marilyn Manson as a case study because there is definitive evidence that Marilyn Manson is an abusive, toxic person who has abused women consistently. Like R. Kelly, there's consistent patterns of abuse, punishing girls, manipulation, gaslighting, grooming, and physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. So, we're going to be going through each of Marilyn Manson's relationships and using them as a case study and teaching you how to recognise and report domestic abuse. Whatever your situation is, no matter how powerful somebody is, no matter how much you might need their help, no matter how much they have convinced you that you need them, you must never, ever, ever put up with abusive behaviour in any form. You are worth so much more than that. And hopefully, this video will teach you to recognize your own power and teach you that you are never ever powerless. Whatever your situation is, you can always change. And you never ever ever have to put up with abuse. So, this is today's episode. We're using Marilyn Manson as a case study, and we're going to teach you how to empower yourself. This is Filthy Ketchup. Thank you for watching. Marilyn Manson, in every single one of his relationships, has boasted about having a bad girl room that he locks girls up in. He uses sleep deprivation. He gives girls drugs so that they stay awake. He uses BDSM sex as an excuse to physically abuse women. You know, he's hiding in plain sight. He's consistently boasted year after year for the last 20 years about his abusive, toxic behaviour. He uses manipulation. Esme Bianco, who testified for the Phoenix Act, Esme Bianco bravely came forward and testified for the Phoenix Act, and she said that she was groomed. I mean, abusers have consistent patterns of behaviour. It doesn't matter if you're Marilyn Manson or Joe Blow from next door. The patterns of abuse are always the same. In the initial stages, you've got what I call the grooming stage, the love bombing, making you feel important, making you feel special, you know, making you feel that you can't live without this person. You know, it might be that they have a really cool house to stay in, it might be that they're rich and famous, it might be that they have money, it might be that they can help you get a job. You know, they're going to use some kind of leverage that they can help you with, and they use that in the grooming stage along with the love bombing to reel you in. Then you get the gaslighting and manipulation. And with Marilyn Manson, he, like R. Kelly, he had a dress code. R. Kelly used to make girls dress in these baggy boys' clothes to cover up their shape so they didn't look like girls. They had to wear boys' clothes. Marilyn Manson always made girls dress like Dita Von Teese. He wanted them to dress in this kind of gothic, sexy look. He wouldn't let them wear pants, you know, trousers. They always had to wear dresses. They had to stop tanning so that they had pale skin. They had to have this kind of burlesque look, like this kind of Dita Von Teese look. Dita Von Teese has said that she or she hasn't really publicly said about any kind of abuse, but there is things that she's hinted at that she doesn't really want to talk about, which I think is interesting. But the girls, I mean, his current relationship, Lindsay Lousek, you can see her kind of look where she's gone from, you know, being herself, and then as soon as she's got with Marilyn Manson, she's pale, she's dressing in dresses, you know, apparently they're not allowed to wear underwear, they have to wear, you know, they have to look very glamorous and pale and kind of gothic. Evan Rachel Wood, as soon as she got with Marilyn Manson, she started wearing dresses, she didn't wear underwear, she had to, you know, be all made up and look kind of burlesque, kind of glamorous but pale. And you can see, if you look at Evan Rachel Wood's pictures and Esme Bianco's pictures, you can see as soon as, you don't even have to check the caption, as soon as they get with Marilyn Manson, they have that certain look. And also what he does, again like R. Kelly, he uses sleep deprivation. Esme Bianco, she's so brave. When she testified for the Phoenix Act, she said that he would give her cocaine instead of food. So instead of food, she was taking cocaine, staying up for days and days on end. And of course, from the abuser's point of view, Marilyn Manson knows exactly what he's doing. He knows that if someone's disorientated and they haven't slept, they're more likely to agree to things that they don't want to do, such as BDSM sex. I mean, that kind of sex isn't consensual. I'll put the picture up of Esme Bianco's back. Okay, she's been whipped on her back. When you get whipped like that, that isn't consensual. Like BDSM sex, you know, there's safe words, there's passwords, there's a safe way of doing it. The way Marilyn Manson does it, that's not consensual, you know. So he's beating girls, he's using violence, he's using sleep deprivation, you know, they're being bitten, you know, they're being whipped, they're being cut with knives. I mean, Esme Bianco went days without sleep, 4 days without sleep. She was chased with weapons, you know, and she's got PTSD and panic attacks to this day. I mean, I'm a survivor of domestic abuse myself, so I know the anxiety and the PTSD and panic attacks, that stays with you for the rest of your life. And people like R. Kelly and people like Marilyn Manson have to be stopped. Celebrity is not a license to abuse. We have to put our foot down and say it doesn't matter who you are, abuse is unacceptable, okay? Now, let's talk about patterns of abuse. We know the patterns of abuse. You go from grooming, then it's gaslighting, then it's manipulation, then it's the actual abuse, emotional, physical and sexual abuse. But how do we report abuse? There's national helplines where you can report abuse, but if you with the type of abuser that follows you everywhere, if you're never on your own, if you can't make a phone call, say, you know, your abuser's with you all the time, there's a hand signal you can use. Say if you go into the supermarket or the pharmacy or somewhere like this, you can use this hand signal. Even if you're standing next to your abuser, this is how you do it. You put your hand up like this, put your thumb in and put your hand over. That is a signal that you're being physically abused. So say you're in the pharmacy or the supermarket and your abuser is there, you put your hand up, put your thumb in and fold your fingers over, okay? That is a hand signal that you can use that you are being abused, and the person who sees that will report it. There's also national helplines for abuse that I will put up, and they will immediately house you in emergency accommodation. They'll get you emergency accommodation, and from there you will get the help you need to break away from that person. Anybody who's watching this, if you are suffering domestic abuse or you have suffered domestic abuse, please use the numbers that I'm going to give you to break away from that situation. You are worth more than that. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, it doesn't matter who you are. Celebrity is not a license to abuse. We need to get that message across. We need to get that message across now. You know, people like Rose McGowan, Esme Bianco, you know, there is brave women out there who are prepared to stand up and say, we're not going to take this abuse anymore. But this work has to start with us. We have to start with ourselves first. So please, if you're suffering abuse, please report it. It doesn't matter how you report it, just report it. Please get the help that you need. Now, as I said, with Marilyn Manson, he's got consistent patterns of behaviour. We know this now. We know he's a predator. We know he's an abuser. Every single relationship that he's been in, he's had the same patterns of abuse. Abusers always abuse in the same way. They control what you wear. They control the money. Financially, they control you. You're not allowed to have your own money. You're not allowed to dress in a certain way. You have to sleep when they want to. You have to eat what they say. You have to wear whatever they want. Any type of control, if you're being controlled in any way, that is abuse. If somebody's telling you what to wear, that is abuse. If somebody's telling you you can't have your own bank card, or you can't go out at a certain time, or you can't wear this, or you can't speak to them and you can't speak to your family, isolation is a big part of abuse. When somebody wants to isolate you from your friends, when somebody wants to isolate you from your family, that is abuse. That is domestic abuse. We need to put a stop to this now, all of us, okay? And it starts with us. If you are being controlled, if you are being abused in any way, report that abuse. Stand up for yourself. We know these patterns, okay? We know these patterns, and it's easy when you need someone or you love someone. It's easy to make excuses for people and say, well, if I hadn't done this, then they wouldn't have done this, and maybe if I did this, then they wouldn't have done this. Women are caretakers by nature. We want to help. That's part of our feminine nature. We want to take care of people. We want to help people. But there's a difference between helping people and being controlled. As soon as you're don't make excuses. If you're being controlled in any way, that's not a caretaking situation. That's an abusive situation, and you need to report it today. Change your life today. Put your foot down, take that first step, and live your life. Don't let somebody live it for you, alright? So I'm just using Marilyn Manson as an example. There's so many celebrity abusers. We've had Bill Cosby, we've had Harvey Weinstein, we've had R. Kelly, and now it's Marilyn Manson. We need to put a stop to abuse for every single woman out there, for me, for you, for everybody. Okay? Report domestic abuse. Get yourself out of that situation. Change your life today. This is Filthy Ketchup. Thank you for watching. Please make good choices. I love you. Take care.